Today, I am racing Garlops, Kythius, and Return of Octobot. I believe that's correct. In Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Let me just double check that. Yes. That will be at 8 o'clock UK time. So I'm getting some practice in. That's it. That's the tweet. I'm getting some practice in. I'm not sure which controller I want to use. I was umming and ahhing about using the DualSense. I'm currently settled on the USB Sega Mega Drive pad for nostalgia reasons, but I can easily be swayed. So, options I have, I can go for GTR, which I've never tried before, but GTR is essentially making the combo that sets everything off first. So, I feel like I've already... See, that's the problem with the way these beans fall. I think I've already screwed myself out of GTR. Yeah, I've buried the key to the combo, which is just marvelous. I'm hoping that the people I'm racing also have bad luck, basically. Because there is a great deal of skill involved in Puyo, there is also a great deal of luck as well. I'm just hoping that they have shit luck. It's like Luminous, right? In Luminous, there is a great deal of skill required. Perhaps even a little bit of musician skill and timing skill. But it still ultimately boils down to which squares appear for you. And I think that's going to be the struggle. So I'm not really keeping track of time. I probably should. Maybe I'll keep track of how long each stage took across several different plays. So that's 84 seconds for stage 1. Where's my little Super Mario Land notebook? Normally I can put my hand on that. That's weird. Where's that gone? Walkies to little Super Mario Land notebook. Right, I'll have to get another piece of paper or a different thing to write on. Oh no, there it is. It's a Super Mario Land notebook. Right, pen. I know for a fact I've seen one of those this morning. Gonna sort of per run. Gonna see if I can work out sort of like an average of how long each stage takes me. Let's see if I can even work out an average of how long each specific stage takes me on a successful playthrough. Right, so again, I'm going to try not to bury my key. Which I feel I already have possibly done. It's kind of tricky thinking about it this way. If I can get purple and green. Ugh. This isn't looking promising. Right. What I'm gonna do then... So activate those into that. Okay, not too bad. While the opponents are quiet, while they're not fighting back too much, it's not a problem. If I can hit like 66-ish time on every single stage, I think I'd win the race. But that also doesn't factor in how many like failed attempts there would be. Right, okay. If I can get a purple on top of there, great, okay. It'd be nice if I could get the pieces I want. Right, okay, great. Got blue. What I want to do is maybe... Get some yellow down there, that might help. At this point, once again, the key's been buried. Completely and utterly buried. Which is just marvelous. I'll have to just do my best and hope in the race, really, that I can claw things back. So, my key has been excavated, and now I just need a red. No, because I put something down in column 3. Oh, that is frustrating. Like, GTR does seem to be... Well, I say GTR, my failed attempt at GTR seems to be, like, working for me for the most part. Having a key and making sure you don't bury it is definitely, I think, a good approach. But again, my key is there and it's now buried and it requires excavating. And all it takes is not getting the pieces you need. So I've got to try and dig down to that. In a way, it's good that I won't be hot on comms for the race, because I think comms would make a race situation much harder. Hey, Johnny, how's it going? Tonight, 8 o'clock BST, so usually, not BST, 8 o'clock UTC. Right about the time I would normally stream, I'm going to be in a... Oh, hey, speaking of which, I'm going to be in a Mean Bean Machine race. And I'm just trying to get some sneaky practice in now, as Garlips has seen. I'm not practicing at all, Garlips. It's a complete... It's not real. It's not real. Just look away. Just look away. You don't know. No, it's not real. It's not real. Trust me, alright? Trust me, it's not real. There's nothing to worry about. Look, that was a lot of damage, but to be fair, that was also 118 seconds. So far it's been 84 seconds, 66 seconds, 118 seconds. It's all like variables. What's also helping is playing it on a Mega Drive pad for me, because it's all coming back like that. Right. Right. All subbed and ready. Nice to hear it. Yep, that race will be against 2 people I'm slightly worried about, and 1 person I'm not worried about. Not that I'm smack-talking or anything, but I'm not worried about Octobot, and I'm not worried about... but I'm worried about Garlops, and I'm worried about Kythius. Ever played Def Jam Fight for New York? I'd love to. I do have it, and it's one of those extremely rare games now. It's finding an excuse to play it, really. Maybe we should make it one of the bro-op titles, Garlops, at some point. Yeah, I mean, for me, the main one is I want to beat Octobot. I also think, you know, not to smack talk or anything, I think if there's anyone I'm likely to beat, it's Octobot. If I got 3rd place and I beat Octobot, I would consider that a win, personally. No shade to the guy, but you know, he's been on that low res show that I've been on, right? And he derailed an entire episode talking about puffins and eating puffins, and you could just tell the guy thinks he's so funny. He's not. But no shade on the fella. I wish only the best for him. May the best puffin fucker win. That's all. That isn't quite what I wanted. Right, okay. Right, they're gonna start fighting back now. So this is when my, No, I'm not writing down the password. Oh, shit, I should have been, shouldn't I? No, I'm actually writing down, the times. Like, how long each, stage took me. Just so I can get a rough idea on which stages are taking too long, and I can maybe figure out a tactic on how to increase their speed. Because ultimately, a lot of it boils down to luck. Getting the pieces you want when you need them, which you can't control. Just got to bury enough keys and hope you can set one of them off. That's... Now I know about keys, that's all I'm doing is I am building keys and burying them and hoping that when the time comes, I can set them off. That's my tactic now. Because that's the only way I can get any sort of response. G, P, P, Y. Okay, I'm going to start writing down the passwords as well. That's a good shout. If I bury enough keys, I can set maybe one of them off. That's... You know, I can build a combo in this, but you give me Baku Baku Animal, I crumble. Baku Baku Animal is one I will never ever get down. I will never ever figure out. And it's really not all that much different. What difficulty are you set on then? Is this an easy race? Because I'm on normal. Which... Are you using Europe or are you using America? Because that might be something to consider, is differences between regions. Well, I'm using US because frames. 60 frames per second is faster. I was under the impression that we were using America for this race. US. Well, I've just got to hope that I can set off any one of these bombs, really. That's my option now. I'm gonna have to sacrifice this one. Have you got, like, Game Gear passwords there? Is that what happened? Oh, you were looking at the wrong list. Right. Let's try again. I want to bury a key. Right. Right, burying the key has meant that I haven't been able to get to it this time. Sorry, I built another key. Boom, 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 boom. 73. So my average time is in the 70s currently. Just doing a mode. My average time is in the 70s. 84, 66, 118, 77, 139, 78, 73. So about a minute 15. I would say my average works out to at the moment. Maybe about a minute 20. 2 minutes. No, a minute 20 is not 2 minutes. 120 is 2 minutes. Don't mind me. Right. Okay. Right. I've kind of got stairs going here, so maybe it might be worth me trying to entertain the notion of stairs instead. Just because I've got the beginning of stairs going. Red. Son of a bitch. Right, okay. It's alright. No! Because I can't go to the left because it's not Puyo 2. Definitely got to work those Puyo 2 habits out. Because they don't work here. Hi, Jacob. Is this Video Game Console Owners Anonymous? Oh, German Wii games, 17 is fine. You bought 31 German Wii games. Are you even going to play them all? Says the guy who has hundreds of Wii games and has barely played a fraction of them yet. Hey, do as I say, not as I do. That's not bad for getting distracted by Jacob's message. I clawed it back somehow. Well, I can't say that just yet, because I haven't clawed it back just yet. This is the point where the computer can now actually fight back. I'm starting to break into old habits. Ed Sheeran warned me about this. He wrote a song about it and everything. He said bad habits. He said bad habits lead to making chains that go nowhere. Bad habits lead to junk Puyos everywhere. No, I'm gonna have to hide chat briefly. I think I can drag it over the other side in OBS. Yes, I can. Let's see if that's the one thing that's changed, or if it is just the difficulty of the AI has gone up. It might be good that in a race scenario I'm not going to be on the hot comms, because I think that's just a recipe for disaster. Of course, that didn't trigger. There we go. That's actually not good enough, and I need to try and claw this back a bit more. Okay. That's a start. But he can just as quickly Sherlock Shelty and Ninja Nanny my ass. This is not over. Come on. Oh gosh. Okay, these stages get increasingly more bullshit. 117. It's not the longest I've taken. Okay, let's have a look. Was it you or Garlips in the newish energy drink review? It was both of us? Me on the left and Garlips on the right. So I got my 30 German Wii games, 17 are fine. 7 cases need changing. Ooh. 1 game art needs changing, and 7 is broken or duplicates, less than $20. Ah, so you bought it as a job lot, and some of the games you had, some of the games you didn't have. Okay, that's fair enough. That's not too bad. Buying a job lot, that's some good odds. Overall, that's pretty good for what, $20? Two of us look almost the same. Yeah, we're brothers. Garlips and I brothers. He's the speedrunner, so this is out of my wheelhouse. Speedrunning is more Garlips' thing. But I'm giving it a go because Puyo. I'm not going to get a Puyo Puyo race on Struggle R, but Mean Bean Machine is a bit more like socially acceptable. So in order to get my my Puyo Puyo race, I had to compromise. Ah! Yes! 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 Woo! Right, okay. Oh, We Wish You a Merry Christmas for Wii. Is that one of them shovelware titles? Because there were 2 games based on the Rankin Bass shorts. There was a Rudolph game and a Father Christmas game. And I don't think it's either of those. I think it's the one that's like a minigame collection. I want to say Vinny Vinesaw streamed it one year. It was particularly rough. Or maybe it was on a Goodwill Games episode of Peeps. I'm on the puzzle game? Maybe. I don't really consider myself a puzzle gamer. Like, I don't like Braid. I've played a fair few puzzle games, but the only one I've ever really, like, fallen in love with is Puyo. And it's more because of the characters in the actual Puyo Puyo games. Like, the only other puzzle game series I can think of with characters that are as appealing to me, as those in Puyo, is Tetris Attack, aka Panel de Pon, because they're all cute little fairies. And cute little fairies do it for me. Oh, note to self, if I want to win, just think of good fairies and... And it will come. Right. Junk, red, red, blue. 54 seconds. I mean, this counting system doesn't factor in how long it takes if I fail on a stage. It doesn't factor in how long it takes for me to skip through a stage. Okay. I bet on purple and it was red. It was green I needed to bet on. Right. Right, I don't like how close that's getting, so I'm going to drop something and see what happens. Okay, that wasn't bad. Not quite what I had in mind. It was getting dicey, and I needed to activate something to get him off my ass. I dropped that the wrong way. I dropped that the wrong way. Need to free that up. Oh! Woo! Panic, panic, panic. Right. 1174. And that's green, green, junk, yellow. Bust-a-Move? Yeah, I can understand Bust-a-Move. I played a little bit of Bust-a-Move 2000, because that had a PC release that had a light install option. On PC, you could do a 1 megabyte install, and it just ran everything off the CD. So you could install the game and only take up 1 megabyte of hard drive space. Naturally, it meant that, you know, you were putting your computer CD drive through its paces, but it was nice that they gave you an option to basically run the entire thing off the disk. All you installed was, like, the program files entry. You know, program data entry game icon. When it said it was a 1 megabyte install, it was probably a little bit more. Considering, you know, the shortcuts, you know, they're only K, like a few K. You still need, like, a registry entry for the game and that sort of thing. But, yeah, it was... I played quite a bit of that on PC because it had that light install option. Wasn't told off for taking up space on the family computer. Fucker. You put something where I wanted to put something. The garbage will always do that. That's the annoying part. Okay. Okay, it doesn't always do that, but it definitely feels like it always does that, damn it. When you're so focused on one color, that's where you fail. That's where the failure comes in. When you're so focused on getting that one color that you just chuck everything everywhere and you don't pay attention where it's going. If you could beat that habit, then sky's your oyster. Is that the thing? Fuck it. Who cares? Scratch! Hold your colors against the wall. Def Jam Fight for New York. I've seen Vinny play like a corrupted version of it, and it was hilarious. I know that Snoop Dogg is in it as like a pimp slash crime lord. I know it's definitely the kind of game I would enjoy, and as you say, you get to make your own rapper who you can fight with. There's a reason why it's a cult classic, and it's not just because the game is not available on modern platforms. There's more to it than that. There's a reason why it's a cult classic, and that's because it's funny, it has great unlockable characters, and there's depth to the fighting system. The fighting system was so good that Sega allowed its use in the PSP Yakuza games. That's how good the fighting system is in Def Jam. So, like, I'm familiar with it sort of by proxy, I guess, because I played a little bit of Kiryu on PSP, so I'm, like, familiar with it. But I've never actually played it. I've heard the multiplayer is really good, which is why I want it to be one of the games that Garlips and I plays once we get our channel together. I think I just heard the noise of two cats fighting. I might have to go out there and have a word with them. Nah. They'll figure it out. Oh, this is a disaster! This is an absolute and utter fuck up. And if it fucks me up, it ought to be in fuck ups. Project Spark. Oh yeah, I played a little bit of Project Spark when it was fresh. Project Spark is best described by its name. It was a spark of an idea. But if you don't have the fuel for that spark to ignite, then it's not going to start a fire. Or if it starts a fire, it's not going to start a fire that lasts very long. Sony's dreams is everything, you know, Spark should have been, but wasn't. And it's a shame. You can take a cult favorite character like Conker, put him into Project Spark. I am sucking against Scratch here. You can take a beloved character like Conker, shove him into Project Spark. At the end of the day, that's not going to do anything. If, you know... One, if you're telling the player, make the second part yourself in Project Spark. And two, if you're doing it 8 to 10 months after Project Spark launches, when all the excitement for the tool is already gone. And as Jacob says, a lot of people only knew about the tool once it was already cancelled. Because Microsoft didn't do a good job of explaining what it was, or letting people know it was there. Like I say, spark of an idea. Nice idea. Shame about the execution. Fuck. This is bonesed. This is totally udders. Hey, Tack. Oh, no. Why is Scratch the problem? Right. Mean Bean Machine Scratch. We've got like a strategy wiki. Rulu. Right. Puyo Rulu AI. Puyo Puyo. Character specific mechanics, character profiles. Looking for anything that might indicate something in her AI that's different than other opponents. Puyo Rulu strategy. Show results with strategy. Surely it's got to be much the same as her strategy in... checkerboarding. Incidentally, the way I'm trying to avoid playing nowadays. Fucking hate checkerboarding. I used to checkerboard for years. Checkerboarding is when you put pieces diagonally next to each other, so when they fall, they produce a combo. Problem with checkerboarding is it's so fucking risky. So risky. Oh, the PlayStation 2 on Lego Ideas. That'd be cool. Is that, like, in response to the Mega Bloks Xbox? Fuck you. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. 43. But that was like 7 or 8 attempts, which is just ridiculous. Purple, yellow, carbuncle, junk. I don't know if the Mega Bloks Xbox was a public idea or not. Probably not. Right. He's acting like he's got me. Fuck. Normally I absolutely trounce Dr. Robotnik. Or Saturn. I think I have to be faster on the attack for this one. Fucker. Oh. Could I imagine, what, Banjo-Kazooie and similar games with modern hardware, modern tech? Yeah, I can imagine it. It's called Astrobot. We already have the blueprint. No, it just needs to be done. I don't know where these assholes got the idea in the first place that classic IPs wouldn't sell. You make a Banjo game that's not a Banjo game, then it doesn't sell because it's not a Banjo game, and they go, oh, nobody buys Banjo anymore. It's like, it's not that simple. You made a car driving game when you should have made a platforming game. It's not fucking rocket science, alright? Star Fox doesn't sell, maybe because you released it on a platform with a Fisher-Price kids tablet, and then you forced everybody to use the fucking tablet to play the game. With an extremely unintuitive aiming system. You won't even let them output most of the sound through their TV. Pausing does hide the screen. That is deliberate. It's to stop you planning your combo. We'd have to have a rule that says you're not allowed to emulation pause. Yeah? That way, people can't cheat. Because if you emulation pause and then you win, I'm gonna comb through the VOD and say we should deny Garlips the win because he emulation paused. No save states either, because you can memorize the drops. I don't like how long this is taking me. I should have been done by now. I've been playing for 45 minutes. I should have been done by now. I know full well the world record is, like, 30 minutes something, and there's no way I'm gonna get the world record. But I mean, come on, I should have been done by now. What emu I'm using? I am using Fusion 364. Because gens wouldn't load any games. Don't know why. Maybe it's a processor-related thing, but gens wouldn't load any games. For me. I'm not particularly keen on Fusion, because Fusion is not accurate. But in a race, the emulation doesn't really need to be accurate. Because the skill plays much more of a part. Yeah, so basically, me, Garlips, Kythian, and Return of Octobot are racing Mean Bean Machine tonight at 8 o'clock UK time. I didn't catch what my time was on Robotnik. Let's check out Scratch. Purple, yellow, carbuncle, junk. Yep, that's right. Oh wait, no, that's not the password I want. That's Dr. Robotnik. Though to be fair, let's practice Dr. Robotnik. I mean, in most of the game, the enemies attack so slowly that so long as you are constantly harassing them, you're set. But once the AI starts moving fast like Robotnik does, or Saturn, who's based on, that's when you start to run into problems. But I'm going to be seeing these beans in my fucking sleep. Well, second attempt was 65. And one attempt. That's the annoying thing, is you either have really good luck with Dr. Robotnik, or you don't. If Atari shows off a new handheld, that's not going to mean anything, because the Atari of today is not the Atari of way back when. It's another company that's picked up the Atari name. Green, carbuncle junk. What? Green, junk, yellow. Green, junk, yellow. Let's have another shot at Scratch. Then I might play some of the Japanese version for a bit of variety. The AI is much the same. Oh. Every time you lose, you eat a bean. I am not doing Bean Boozled for Mean Bean Machine. I was tempted. Garlips will corroborate that I had considered it. I mentioned it in the supermarket, but ultimately decided it was not a good idea. A chili pepper, no issues with the chili pepper. I like chili peppers. I just don't want to eat something that tastes like puke. Or kitty litter, you know what I mean? Like, chili peppers are no problem. I don't mind heat. Great. We've lost. He's so sure. He said that. He's lost. He's so sure. There's still tons of the match left. How can he be so sure he's lost? I just know. The name Atari is worn like a mask now. Dr. Robotnik's flipping the Mean Bean Machine. What? I wasn't aware of any Mean Bean Machine sequel. From what I understand, Mean Bean Machine flopped. Sega never bothered to bring another Puyo game overseas until, what? Either Fever or Mina de Puyo Puyo. It might have been Mina first, and then 2001. No, it would have been Fever first, and then Mina Day. Did Mina Day come out before or after? I'm so stuck thinking about that. Did Mina Day Puyo Puyo come out? I played so much Mina Day Puyo Puyo as a teenager. I had it on Game Boy Advance. Because that's what it was released on. Not the Japanese version, of course. It got localized as Puyo Pop on the Game Boy Advance. And used the classic Mado Monogatari character designs, which was nice. And featured classic Mado Monogatari Puyo characters instead of the Fever cast. It didn't have power-ups, but it did have different rules from throughout Puyo history. Such as like, hard Puyo, stuff like that. Oh, man. I'm starting to make foolish mistakes now. There will be a point where I will reach a stage where I am losing ability. And that will be the point where I will have to stop practicing. At the risk of undoing hard work. Kinda just wanted to get some practice in today, just to say that I had practiced. In a way, I'm kinda worried I might have used up all my good luck. Lost. $40 ports to the Mega Drive. There's ports every month. I watch a YouTuber called Retro Revisited, who puts out a video every month covering the previous month's retro gaming related news. And provided everything's on time, we should be due one today. It used to be on the 1st of the month, now it's sort of around the 3rd of the month. And that's typically how I find out about fan translations is he'll mention them on an episode, and I'll go, oh yeah, I like that game. And that's how I find out about it. He covers all the ports, re-releases of games, so no doubt the episode that will be released probably today will have DCA 3 on it, because that's been a big one. That's got, like, full-on press coverage. Gaming news outlets are talking about it. People who worked on GTA 3 are recalling how, you know, there were initially considerations for the Dreamcast, and then they moved away from it, so they never really knew if it would have been possible. And they're like, well, I guess it would have been possible. There's been a lot of people talking about DCA 3. I thought about checking it out, but I know what kind of state it's going to be in. It's going to run at about 10 to 15 frames a second. It's only environment and cars. There's no, like, other models or information, you know, data, AI. So if I played it, it would be, wow, this is cool. I can't wait to see the done thing. It's like, great. You can't stretch that into a 1 hour or 2 hour live stream. I'd have to tie it into some other thing on Dreamcast games, like Dreamcast ports and stuff. Like, oh, we'll play some Black Label shooters that were released in Germany, like aftermarket titles, stuff like that. Spread the stream out a little bit, because otherwise it'd be quite a short thing. It's bad enough the live stream I've got down for my birthday is a game that has a 15-minute runtime that's designed to be gifted to people on their birthday as like a send-up Steam gift game. That's its concept. Oh no. Robotnik looks bad. The Xbox One generation, there was an easy way to win. All Microsoft needed to do, right? All Microsoft needed to do was double down on what made them the winners of the 360 era for 90% of that era, until Sony came along and snatched victory at the end. All they needed to do was double down on what made them strong during that time. But no, let's bundle the Kinect in with the console and force the console to be always on. Fucking idiots. They cost themselves a generation in that announcement stream, in that presentation. They cost themselves the entire generation in one stream. Now, what the Xbox really needed was 2 Kinects. No. No. The new Xbox only Kinect. I'm going to have to think of another strategy for Dr. Robotnik, basically. I think is how this will boil down to. To win this race, I'm going to need a different strategy for Robotnik. What is the best strategy for beating Satan? Normally, I just build a bunch of combos and chuck his stuff down and just fucking hope. But, you know, that's when I'm playing casually. Now it's a race, I have to take things a little bit more seriously. Which means I need to be sort of like medium strength, like 3-chain combos. 2 3-chain combos will probably do it. Because that'll fuck him up enough that he'll lose track of where he is. And then I come in with the killer move. So I need to build 2 small combos and deploy them at the right time. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. PS3 had its day right at the end when Last of Us came out. Last of Us came out, Sony dropped the price of the slim PS3 to make it a really tempting first console for people who were not sure about whether or not they wanted a console. And Sony did get a boost in sales from people who wanted Blu-ray players, because do I shell out 300 plus for a Blu-ray player, or do I shell out 300 plus for a games console that plays Blu-rays? And I can go on the internet on it. So that was where Sony sort of squeezed in that generation. And wow, okay. Chat moved quickly there. Yeah, the Kinect was famously used in a horror movie. They had a room where a kid walks in and there's like laser grid, and they thought it was a really cool effect. It was achieved by just having the Kinect turned on, which kind of shows you how like complex the Kinect was. That it essentially shot out an entire laser grid, and based on your position in that grid of lasers, that's how it knew, you know, where you were, on top of using the camera to read your inputs. The Kinect was also famously used as part of the arcade tech for the Dance Masters Japanese arcade machine. Dance Masters also had a Kinect game. It was released in... yeah, Dance Evolution, sorry, and the American version was called Dance Masters. No, give me yours. Fuck, oh shit, no. Ah. And what Tax said and deleted, yeah, The Last of Us is not a bad game. Describing it as a normie game, I guess in the sense that it got a lot of people who weren't gamers into gaming. Which, I mean, depending on how you feel about gatekeeping, that's either a good or a bad thing. I would say it's a good thing so long as game developers still produce games for gamers as well as for modern audiences. The problem is they don't. I get it. The modern audience is significantly larger than the audience that exists right now for video games. Asterisk, if you can actually access the entire modern audience. The problem is you cannot, because the modern audience is nebulous. It's universe-sized. I'm going to go ahead and get some practice in on the Japanese version just for a bit of, like, variety. Doesn't make much of a difference, it's just different music. Different, well, some of it's different music. Different characters. I'm going to get some practice in. Right. Save state. Get some practice in on the Japanese version. Just for a bit of variety. Any way to make my PS3 or PS4 region-free Blu-ray player? I'm going to say yes. Absolutely guaranteed there is a way. I don't know what the way is for a PS4. But for a PS3, you are looking at installing a custom firmware and then setting your region on that custom firmware to a different region. Or booting the Blu-ray disc through something like Movie Man or Multiman or any of the other homebrew. I think it's like Movian now it's called, the media player for PS3 custom firmwares, that sort of thing. So yes, the short of it is there is a way. But not like... You can't just like put a Blu-ray in and click play and it be another region Blu-ray and work. I've had that work maybe like 2% of the time because the Blu-ray says it's a certain region and then it actually isn't. But that's down to the disc itself. Yeah, there'll never be a fix for the yellow light of death because it's caused by the... What was it? The paste they used on the board to connect the heatsink to the processor. That it heats up and cools, heats up, cools, heats up, cools, and eventually snaps off the board, and that's what causes the yellow light of death. Yeah, there is no fix. It's going to happen to every PS3 of that age. It will eventually yellow light of death. Can you make the part yourself and like fix a PS3? I wasn't aware that was possible. I mean, what you would do is just get a PS3 that doesn't have that fault, i.e. a model where that fault has been fixed. It's the same with an Xbox 360. If anybody was buying an Xbox 360 today and it was not, you know, at least a Jasper chipset, I'd tell them they're wasting their money. The best Xbox 360 to buy is the Ultra Slim, you know, the little black one. It's the best one to get. But if you want a chunky, tall one, get a Jasper. Easiest way to tell a Jasper, I believe, is that if you look at the power socket on the Xbox 360, if it has a weird rectangular bit in the power plug, that's your indication that it's a Jasper. I mean, there's other ways as well, but that's the easiest way. Jaspers don't use this particular paste that snapped. It would bump and snap. By one somebody already fixed. You can't fix the bump problem. it will happen on hardware of that age. Regardless, it will happen, because that paste cannot be removed, at least not easily. I can't think of a time when somebody has repaired an Xbox 360, of Red Ring era, or a PS3 of Yellow Light of Death era. I can't think of a time that somebody has actually repaired one. Slowed down the process? Reversed it temporarily? Yes. But fixed? No. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Oh yeah, GPUs as well. Capacitors near the CPU. Ah. See, I'm familiar with the bump problem, because I watched a YouTube video about the bump problem, which was certain hardware of that time. I think it might have been Bringus Studios explained it. Certain hardware of that time, many companies were using this one thermal paste that was supposed to bond components together, but because it would heat up and cool and heat up and cool, it eventually snapped the parts that were connected and stopped them from adhering together. And because it's forceful, it was a snap, and it would damage the board. But yeah, capacitors and things, that's always something you've got to consider. If you turn the device on and there's like a fishy smell, then you've likely got fucked capacitors somewhere. Fishy or sort of like TCP smell, like a medicinal smell, like a winter green smell. Hardware should not be making that smell. Stairs! Normally I don't stairs, but stairs kind of happened that time. I got lucky. What I find interesting is Mean Bean Machine seems to run faster. And I wonder if the issues with, like, maneuvering and putting pieces down is due to the fact that the game is running faster, that perhaps the people who tested it didn't consider. That messing with the speed might mess with the mechanics. Don't know if anybody's bothered digging into it. I wouldn't know where to begin, so you're not going to get a video from me on how Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine fucks up Puyo Puyo, makes Puyo Puyo harder. I mean, I've played games that were made unnecessarily hard before. I've played the PC port of Chrono Trigger, which is notorious for running much faster than it is supposed to. That port, on the slowest speed setting, it's still faster than the fastest speed setting on PlayStation and on DS. Thank you for not putting one there. Oh, come on! It's fucking Panotti. It's not like Satan or Rulu. It's Panotti. Pulls this up already. Please tell me one of these email noises is a company saying, "We'll hire you." For the love of God. I'll check in a second. Marketing. Marketing. Is that just an automated... Automated, and that one's a rejection. From 3 hours ago. Wow, the lighting is going crazy on that webcam. Must be between light phases. So it's struggling to tell if it's daytime or nighttime. The clock says it's daytime, but I mean it feels like nighttime. I feel like I should grab a nap between now and the race. I watch a movie. $20.46. Oh, Wong Kar-wai, right? I've not seen it, but I'm familiar with it. I have the soundtrack on CD. Funnily enough, a French copy of the soundtrack. So I'm familiar with it for that reason. That's the only reason why I can immediately put my finger on who the director is. Because I've seen their name on the soundtrack. La-dee-da, Mr. Frenchman. It showed up in a charity shop a few years back. It's like, not only is it interesting that a soundtrack to a movie showed up, it's a French copy of the soundtrack to a movie. So I picked it up. Oh, you writing something? It's when I find out you're a published author. This is when I find out you're a famous published author. It's when I find out you're a famous published author with a book that's been adapted into a successful movie. Maybe not yet. But there's time for all of these things. First book. Everybody's got to start somewhere. That's something I'd love to do. I simply don't have the time to write a book. If I can find a job that works around me, maybe I can write a book. Right. Gonna try and build a key again. Because I'm starting to lose track of where I am, so I'm gonna start building the key. Right. There's the key. A Puyo has been planted in the key. Gee, can anyone take care of it? Can't let you do that. Yeah. Gonna start building the key now. I think I have to decide where in the single player I'm going to start building the key. What time I need to start that tactic versus when it's best just to pelt Puyo everywhere. Oh, I fucked up again! Oh, the new Marge voice. Yeah, I think I saw a clip of that on Twitter. And my immediate thought was, oh my god, what the fuck happened to their voices? It kind of took me out of the whole scene. And then I realized that they were actually kicking Ned while he was down, and then I was doubly out at that point. Because I'm like, has my homeboy Ned Flanders not suffered enough? Eat shit! Eat shit! Eat shit! Eat shit! Eat shit! Oh, Marge's voice actress. So they got Vinny Vinesauce off the street to do a Marge impression. Because that's what it sounds like. Homie! I'm crimp with you, dear! Like, I understand, if you've got an iconic voice, it's always going to be difficult to replace that when the voice actress behind that voice passes. Come on. I'm not gonna let Witch be the end of me. Great. I think hour and a half of practice is solid. If I do too much, I'm gonna end up overdoing it and then making myself tired. An hour and a half worth of practice. I beat Mean Bean Machine in that time. If everybody else has a bad time, you know, maybe. I can't see myself taking more than an hour to beat Mean Bean Machine in the race. If I get around the 45-minute mark-ish, like I did earlier, then I'm fine. And I won't be talking to chat during the race, so I won't have that distraction. Yeah, I'm only going to end up flailing at this point. Right, I'm going to go, but thank you very much for joining me, everybody who showed up for this. I will be racing at 8 o'clock tonight on the Wheel of Struggle Twitch page. I will make sure that that is linked in the promotion channel at some point today. Or possibly even in the live channel, since it relates to me going live. And yeah, if you want to swing by on Twitch later and show me support, I would appreciate that. Because I probably will need it against at least 3 of the competitors. Alright, thank you very much for coming. Yeah, and then I think I have down for the 6th the first part of Birdcage of Horrors, and we're going to see how that goes. We're going to see how Birdcage of Horrors goes. I shall feed your nipples. My nipples look like milk duds.